Virginia seemingly dodged a bullet with Hurricane Florence, but the National Guard is on standby still right now to help here in the Commonwealth and in other states.
The governor activated the Guard for storm response operations. 13 News Now investigative reporter Laura Geller is at Camp Pendleton in Virginia Beach with that story.
This is the kind of specialized equipment that makes the National Guard so useful in situations like this. As you can see, it is ready to go should the Guard be needed in the aftermath of Hurricane Florence. When citizen soldiers like Specialist Jacob Huff are activated,
always lend a hand. That's what I signed up for.
They leave their day jobs and families behind to serve the Commonwealth. Specialist Huff's family is riding out Hurricane Florence as it batters North Carolina.
The unit gave us a chance to make sure our families are right first. We showed up, so we're ready to go. Don't have to worry about home.
The National Guard doesn't only run missions here in Virginia. In storms like this, they could be asked to help neighboring states, a mission that would have special meaning for Huff.
If we have to go down there, at least I know I'm helping them out in their area.
Check these ones right here, make sure these valves are good.
Master Sergeant A.J. Coyne explains if North Carolina's National Guard needed help, there would be an official request from one state to another.
North Carolina's got a robust National Guard, and so they've got plenty of capabilities. Our general and the governor would decide whether or not we could provide support.
This wouldn't be the first time these soldiers answered the call elsewhere. Some of them did search and rescue for storms in Texas and the Virgin Islands last year.
And if that call came, all these soldiers, that's the reason why they joined the National Guard, is to not just put on the uniform overseas, but to put it on here and help out people.
We've taken a lot of pictures and videos while here with the National Guard. If you want to take a closer look, head to this article on 13newsnow.com or our Facebook page. In Camp Pendleton, I'm Laura Geller for 13 News Now.